This is a story for those who wish that they could truly read between the lines of the book they were reading and see the world of the story through the eyes of the author. For those who wish that they could make nonfiction from fiction. For those who wish that dreams were true. This is a story of a group of wayward friends who came together from the far reaches of two worlds to come together and to help make dreams reality. This is Hazeltown Story. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Hazeltown Story. This is episode 2. It is the middle half of our first session. So if you are joining us for the first time, I highly recommend you go listen to the previous episode because we're going to be starting off directly from where we left off. The players for this session, we have Carnival playing Elmis Graner, who is a technomancer, which is essentially basically can use their body as a battery for kind of technological devices and also interface it with them. We have Deathmaster as Nelos Masters, who basically works as a club bouncer part of the time and basically is kind of muscle for our group, but also has some cult knowledge. And we have TorpidTypist as Iravia, who is a basically a beat up person lady. We have a interesting party. Also joining them is Lyla, who is a museum curator by day, but also has some kind of exploration experience. So she is the more knowledgeable of the group in terms of actual campaigning. I will be controlling her throughout this campaign. Also, you were probably familiar with her if you were familiar with some of my other content or any of the other things that have, Hazeltown stuff in it. So basically, to kind of sum up what happened last episode is that the group got together, got the mission briefing from Theron. Basically, they found a mountain lair, or I should say, one of Theron's friend that is basically from where he used to live in the Castle Rock Republic. Basically, there is a mountain range that is by Theron's home, and in that mountain range, they found an abandoned lair that looks like it had been recently occupied and was used for somewhat nefarious deeds. And they are going to be using some sensing equipment that actually stores more than they think, and some magically scripted books. Basically, the person who wrote it is able to kind of magically project what the area is. So using these materials, they are basically they have induced themselves into a trance that basically they are being able to kind of virtually live out and explore this layer with the data that was found from the materials that were sent. So we left off with them just getting into the layer and have found that it is maybe not abandoned after all, at least in its current state that they have found themselves in. So we will be seeing how they how they explore this layer. So without further ado, here's the start of the session, or the continuation of the session. So you have outside that you have a door leading to the essentially the north, and you have a door leading west. From what you can tell, the door is closed, or the hallway leading to basically the door is closed. So there really isn't any indicating marker of where it goes. So basically you have two doors to go through.
Which directions again?
North and west.
Let's go west.
I'll go north.
Okay. So I will take Elmis. I'll go Nelos. Who do you go with?
Nelos will go with I forget what Carnival. What's your
North, west, south, or Dennis?
Elmis.
Elmis.
All right, yeah. Nelos will go with them.
Okay. So I'll point you towards you two first off, and Lyla will accompany Iravia.
Iravia.
I'm going to get that
God,
wrong every single time.
keep making characters that people just keep mispronouncing despite me correcting them.
So yes, I'll handle, or I will do basically go with I'll basically Elmis and Nelos first. So you go in and you go down a short hallway. Then you come across a very
Oh, wait, there's 3 of us going down the one hallway.
no, because it's 2 and 2.
All right, good.
No, yeah. Because God damn it, I already forgot.
Elmis
and no,
Elmis and Nelos are together, and then Iravia and Lyla.
Iravia, yes,
Going.
Iravia and Lyla are going north. So yes. So Elmis and Nelos, you go down the hallway, and you come across basically you notice what you walk into what is essentially a very large dining room. You notice that it is for the most part clean. There are basically 2 large tables. It is shaped in a kind of a rectangle shape, and there's basically a long table going across each way. You notice that one table is basically pristine, where the other kind of shows like it's been used. It's not dirty, but you can tell that it's been used relatively recently.
Okay, so we know that there are people, at least in the short term. So Nelos, do you have any ideas what we should? Do we want to try and collect any of this? Try and thing or?
Also, one other thing I should mention, just so that you know, you have the doorway going east to essentially go back to where you were. You also have a door heading. You essentially have another hallway heading west, and another one heading north.
Splitting up more.
Carnival, you're cutting up a bit.
I was saying splitting up more than we already have seems like a bad idea. So
Yes. Let's go west.
sure.
Okay. While you do that, I am going to pop back over to Iravia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you and Lyla walk in there, and you come across a square room, a large square room that has in the center has a separate room, but on the sides of this room are a bunch of works of art, namely a bunch of paintings coming from different eras. Also, you happen to notice that on each corner of the room there is essentially what looks like a suit of armor. But one thing you notice is I'll say about this, they look almost medieval, but the thing is that they're carrying relatively recent looking. They're all carrying essentially machine pistols.
Seems normal to me.
So as you walk in, basically you see a bunch of paintings, and you see these basically the statues, and you see the kind of the room in the center. Exits from this room are to the west and to the north.
Okay.
And there's also you could go into the center. There seems to be a door to the center of the room.
Anything else noticeable about the paintings?
I could have I could have Lyla make a kind of a knowledge history check.
She better be the one to make it.
Yep. She's going to basically go, hey, I'm going to check this. She kind of just looks at it. Let me double check what her it is 2 yellows and a green. Also, let me check. Does she have
Better than mine.
Does she have any talents for that? I don't think so.
Mine's actually incredibly abysmal.
Yeah, I think you take strain if you do
I do.
if you do that. Okay, so 2 yellows and a green.
There's reason for that, but yes.
Do.
And not just because she's stupid.
This is 3 advantage.
Holy shit.
Okay. So that she definitely she looks at it, it's like, okay. These look like these have been here for centuries. They are, I don't know the painters themselves. It looks like artists of the era, but it looks like I'm noticing something here in that there's these little, like, if I'm looking at the sides of these, there's a little tape next to it. I'm like, okay, I mean, I work in a museum and I definitely don't like seeing this. I think that they might be wanting to take these with, like, someone has been here relatively recently and someone is like marking these paintings. They haven't damaged it, but they have marked these paintings that they're going to do something with them.
Should we take them down then?
Don't touch them quite now. I mean, granted, we can't really do anything to them. We're not actually damaging the actual painting, but let's just leave it for now. We don't want to disturb anything. She also happens to notice that about. She also walks up to the essentially the suits of armor, and she kind of peers into it. And it's like, she just kind of walks back for a second. It's like, okay, do not touch these statues. These are not
okay.
These are not. These suits of armor are legitimate. There's something in the suit of armor, and she kind of whispers that a little bit to you. And she's like, I mean, I could tell those guns are relatively recent, and that's not how those armors meant to be worn. There's something in them.
Sure, I'm pretty sure I've seen people use armor against bullets.
Not quite like this. These are from the 15, like, these are hundreds of years old. These are old suits of armor. Someone has put something into these, and it almost looks like I'm seeing mechanical bits in there. She's kind of peering into the thing of it. It's like, I'm not going to touch it because in case this thing might turn on or something. So we should probably just not touch them.
Think it's related to the center room?
I don't know.
Well, too bad. I'm going in there anyway.
Okay. So you head into the center room and you find a panel in the center that has 3 buttons. You can kind of tell from what's in here as you go in. This is an elevator.
Huh.
Lyla follows you in and basically is like, and from it you can tell, you can see that there is a light that you see 1F, 2F, 3F. You see that it is 1F is lit up.
Let's go to fuck. And she hits the 3F button.
Okay. So you head over. So basically, the elevator starts to take you up. Okay. So I am heading over back to Nelos and Elmis. And you decided to go west from essentially this dining area. In there, you happen to find a kitchen that basically looks like there are 4 ovens, basically some refrigerators, and basically you find another room, a door what looks like to another room, but from a panel that you see next to it, you can just tell it's a freezer.
Nelos opens the freezer.
You open the freezer. It is a walk-in freezer. You just see basically frozen slabs of meat. You don't.
Where do I identify the meat?
It looks like beef. It's something. It looks like it is. Like you see beef and chicken and some pig.
Okay.
To the side. You don't see anything out of the ordinary.
Nelos gives one of the beefs a good punch, then closes the freezer.
Okay. It's a slab of beef. It is frozen, so it reacts the way you'd expect it to.
Explodes in the shower floor.
What would you use technomancy for?
Just try and overload all of the ovens and freezers. See what happens. If I could cause a reset the circuit through the entire house. Castle.
You could, but I don't know why. Is there something that you're
trying to kill Iravia and Lyla?
No. Maybe. I'm trying to see if that way to
remember, if you do this, you will regret it. This is a dream. You will wake up. So will Iravia.
It was only to see what in case just maybe it needs a security that's dormant, just see if we can just take the circuit and then just reset it to just make it turn it off.
Okay. I can let you do that. Okay. So I think I have a. So you're essentially using equipment.
And make
Is it
sure.
obvious that Elmis is doing this?
No. Nelos is the only one that would know that. Okay, let me go here.
Now, I mean, it's obvious that she's casting spells when Nelos looks at her.
Well, to what they would see, if it actually causes anything, it would just be like a short. Like you wouldn't be able to tell anything. Hold on, I have to. Oh, there it is.
And also, you might want to grab the dice that are already.
Yep, I will. Let's see. So what I want you to do. So the way that the magic system works in Genesis is that you're going to be casting. Basically, you have kind of spell words, and that each do kind of a generic thing that you have a bunch of additions to. What you're going to be doing is you are going to be. I will say this. You will be making a equipment check, which by default has a thing of easy. Overload. Well, okay, you have two options that you could do for equipment. And if you're just doing like, I'd imagine you're just kind of looking into a plug of something because you can see that this does have some sort of entrance.
Right, yeah, just try to start just mess around with the circuitry of the house.
You have take control or you do have overload. Take control, you can like kind of interface with it. Overload is cause it to just break.
What's the difference in difficulty between take control?
There is one. So take control will add 2, which means that you will be having a hard check, which is 3 equipment. And I'm going to tell you this. So one of the key things of Genesis is the story point system. I'm going to be because I have a story point that I can use because basically each of you 3 share a pool of story points. That what you can do is you can use it to do a couple things. Sometimes your abilities have things that use story points. Other thing you can do is basically if you want to make a check succeed or like have a better chance to succeed, you can actually lower the difficulty of the roll 1 step. But the thing is that since they're basically with each of you, whenever any of you use it, that gives me an additional point.
Okay, so the economy goes back and forth.
So yeah, it goes back and forth. So if you do that, I would have 2 and you would have 2. Right now, it's I have 1, you have 3. The thing is, if you take this, I'm going to take mine and I'm going to make that a harder check.
I'm still gonna go for the take control.
Okay.
Fucking playing Othello at these story points.
Yep.
This is it.
Yep.
But
well, now it's going to be this. So what I'm going to say that you need to roll. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of these. What you need to roll is you need to make a technomancy check with a challenge in. Let's see, a challenge in 3 in 2. What is it? Challenge. Let's see. What are these? I know one of them's a challenge. Basically, one of them a challenge and 2 difficulty.
Okay, so just tell me the color.
Since you were technomancy, I believe yours is 2 yellow and let's see, technomancy.
2 yellows and a blue.
Yep, two yellows and a blue.
Okay.
So what you could do is just highlight all of them and just right click, and I believe there is just a rule.
Yeah, I'm trying to. For whatever reason, the drag highlight's not.
Here.
Right. I guess you go ahead.
Okay, I'll roll for you. Okay, let's see. Okay, net failure of 1 threat. So.
Gee, wow.
What I am going to have that mean is basically, so you manage to. Basically, what happens is you don't find a way to interface with it, but essentially, you can't find an interface with it. But the thing is, in your way of trying to do that, essentially, you kind of get a shock backwards. What I want you to do is basically you get zapped, essentially, by your attempt to do that, and you take 1 strain.
All right, that's.
So nothing happens from it. Basically, there's no shortage or anything.
All right, that sounds reasonable.
Yeah, Nelos sees Elmis get shocked back and it's like, what the fuck did you just do?
Trying to see if I could take control of the circuitry in here ahead of time in case something bad happens. Didn't work, obviously. Ellis is shaking her hands, just getting just the feeling back as after the shock.
What
Oh, well.
It's coming to come after us. The fucking stakes.
We don't know. This is a wizard place.
Did you fuck up and fail the check?
It's fine. It only
Yes.
damaged me.
Yeah, it was a net failure of 1 threat, which basically is you just take a little bit of a penalty. If it was a larger threat or despair, I could have some fun stuff, but thankfully, Carnival only managed to screw up only slightly.
It's fine. It's fine.
It is not fine. Maybe run that against us next time.
Well, I guess it would
Alright,
just be
alright.
you. So is there anything else you want to check in the kitchen?
What else is there besides the freezer and the stoves?
I suppose one other thing, one thing I will also give you is the fact that the kitchen looks used. It's not messy, but it's used. You can see that there are some dishes in the dishwasher. Like basically, there are some dishes that need to be done, but not a whole lot. Whoever is maintaining this place is keeping a relatively okay, shape, keeping it in okay shape. So, but not keeping it pristine. Not something as you would expect as how elaborate this area is. You expect it's not being kept by the original owner. Or whoever owned this was basically kind of probably inherited it.
Like you do.
So, with that do you want to head out of that room?
Yes, what are our options?
So really, there isn't anywhere else you could go. You just have to go back in the dining room from there.
Alright.
Sure.
Well, Al, unless you want to burn some more Hot Pockets, I suggest we get out of here.
Look, that only happened once. It wasn't even my fault.
In what way was it not your fault?
Oh no, I thought you not this, the Hot Pockets thing. That was something that actually happened once.
Okay.
The question stands.
So do you want to just head back to the dining room, or do you want to just kind of go back to where they were?
Go back to the dining room and then go down the north hallway, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So with that, I will bounce back to Lyla and Iravia.
Thank you.
Experiencing random turbulence in the elevator.
They would not have noticed anything. So you go up, and you kind of exit, and then you come across a rather basic room that just kind of has some lanterns and some tables with it. And you have a room. You basically have a room that there is a room to the right, which you can. There's not a doorway to it. You can kind of see a little bit into it. It looks like a rather large room. And then there is a door to the north. That door was leading, or the big room was to the west. Actually, sorry, east. There is another one that leads north. That is closed by a door.
Gonna avoid anything notable about this room.
The large room, you could kind of tell by the way it looks. It looks like a small ballroom. It looks like a room
you know what I'm.
that basically right now you can see there is nothing in it except for a piano.
Yeah, that sounds lame. Let's go north.
Okay. You happen to go north, and you open the door, and you go into what essentially is the upper balcony of a theater. Like a small conference room. You see that you are basically in the higher seats of if you imagine sometimes if you've ever been in a church that has higher seats, it's kind of like that. So basically, you kind of go in there, you just see a bunch of chairs that have looked like they have not been touched that are peering into a room in which you could there is a screen that is down that looks like it could project movies. And then you could also hold a presentation there.
Okay, so not only were these wizards perverts, they also had bad taste.
Yes.
So what I'm gonna do is, for laughs and to test something, is I'm gonna tear out a chair and huck it at the center stage. From the balcony. I can do it. I have the power.
You can. I'm just wanting to. I'm okay. What? Let me look at your sheet. Already used my story point.
You can use
Okay.
mine.
No, that's not the way. I can't actually by the rules.
See, all according to plan.
You know what? Actually,
What?
make an athletics check. Make a. Okay, let's look. Make a average check, which means you're going to do 2 of the purples against 3 green. This is to pull out the chair.
Oh. Wait, what?
You landed the same thing as Carnival. Wait,
Oh.
hold on.
Wait.
No.
No, hit refresh or...
Give me a sec. Let me...
Yeah, re-roll that. Does that add up?
That-
Yeah, that adds up. Oh, wait. No, it doesn't.
No, that's like... Success.
Okay.
Success.
Did one of the... Hold on, let me check something real quick. Yeah, move them all
Okay,
out.
I'm gonna take it out, hit refresh.
There's 2 failures and 1
Wait.
threat.
Wait, is it automatically weighting everything against 2 failures with 1 threat?
Hold on, did something get caught underneath the thing?
Oh, God.
You know what? Just remember where you were.
I have preserved the numbers, so...
Okay, I'm going to reset the table.
Wouldn't be a stream without...
Also, we're going to have to move some of these. But, okay, let's re-roll that die.
Yeah,
Give me a
'cause
sec, I gotta get all my dice back out.
So for you, those of you who are listening to the audio podcast, we are using Tabletop Simulator for this. And we are using user-made mods for this.
Some of which are a bit unstable.
Okay. Actually, okay, you succeed with 2 advantages. Okay. So, you pull out the chair, and let's see. You pull out the chair, and you huck it over the thing. It makes a loud thud, and nothing happens.
Yeah, it was worth a shot.
You hear it
Awesome.
reverberate, like you can kind of hear in the quiet, like just you hear it, and then nothing.
Huh.
Actually, no. Let me go back. You actually have something weird happen. You throw it down in the theater, and you see the chair land, but you hear nothing. And then both you and Lyla kind of stand stunned, and it's like, that should have made a noise. It is then that I'm actually going to have Lyla make a roll. Actually, Lyla is like, okay, give me a moment. Lyla is wearing a set of goggles on her. Lyla has actually changed into, you see that she has changed her outfit a little bit. She is essentially wearing a longer skirt that looks like she is wearing some almost ceremonial armor, but not like a very light set, like almost like you would like not quite a reenactor's set, but it is a set of armor that looks somewhat older. And she is wearing a turban, and she has a set of goggles on her head that she puts on. So she actually is going to lose 1 strength threshold.
Well, really quick.
Yep.
My sheet is gone.
Yeah, it's because I had to reset.
It's on the ordinary thing.
Yep, here it is.
Yeah. Because I was looking at Lila's thing, really confused. Like, I shouldn't have those blues.
Up you don't. So Lyla should have an additional. She now has an additional perception. So 2 greens and a blue against. Let's see. 2 greens and a blue versus a. Let's see. I'm going to make that a hard check, and that comes out to a net failure.
What the fuck?
4 advantages, 4 threat, which cancel each other out. So she just kind of looks around and she's like, I don't see
I
it.
don't know.
Something is causing it, but I don't know what.
Can I roll perception for laughs?
Sure. You also, and also she, after that, she takes off the goggles, so she gets her. Yeah. Let's see. You're rolling perception. That's up. Let's see. Hold on. We got to put the difficulty. That's a hard perception.
Okay. So okay, you want those in there too?
Yep.
Hey, let's roll this shit. Whoops, click the wrong button.
Oop. Let's see.
That doesn't look good.
You actually succeed. Oh, okay.
One success with
Okay,
threats.
one success with 2 threats. Okay, give me a moment. So, you look up. The problem is that this is a thing that I don't know how to, because you're supposed to use the threat whenever you're like there. So, how? Okay, hold on. I have to think. Okay, you know what? You look up, and okay, let me look. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna take the easy way out. Okay, you look up, and you see a orb. You see a thing in the corner that you see is kind of like it's one of those orbs that you saw that Theron showed you earlier. You kind of go up to it and you kind of like point out to it. You look up, and then you see something when you shook out the when you ripped out the chair, something must have shook. So the thing falls down and hits you square in the face, and you take 2 strain.
Okay, is that mitigated by the defense at all?
Nope.
Ah.
Oh, you should have more strain than that. Oh, you put your. Oh, it's because you.
Stroke value. Okay, no, it switched everything around on there. Okay.
Here, I will.
Let's fix these numbers. These numbers.
There.
Yeah. Okay.
There. You now have 2 out of your 16 strain. Wait. Also, it's 16 wounds, not 16 strain. There.
God, fuck. I don't know. I just.
There.
Why
okay.
is this in a completely different order?
I don't know. But yes. Okay, so that happened. Is there anything? And also, Lyla laughs or giggles to herself.
Just gonna punch Lyla on the shoulder.
She just kind of looks. She's like, anyway, all right. Now that we've done that, where do we want to go now?
Go to the ballroom, I guess.
So I'll just do this since you both walk into the ballroom. So basically, you both walk into the ballroom. You see the piano, and you see a couple tables that you would like. If this were a party, you would set punch, but there is no punch. There is nothing.
Only the most boozy punch.
There is the piano, and that's it.
I'm actually gonna flip the piano over out of frustration at the lack of punch.
Okay.
Also, because this place is lame.
I'm just gonna say it is bolted down extremely. It is extraordinarily heavy. Also bolted down. So
okay, I'm gonna kick the legs in.
That is not possible.
Damn it. This is the worst.
It is almost like they are made of stone. Like it is not coming out. It's actually funny. There is actually a mechanism. Also hand that back over. There's actually a mechanism for I can actually. So the maximum difficulty you could go. There is, I believe, 5 is considered formidable. There's actually technically one above that, which is impossible, which straight up means even if you want to attempt it, you have to spend a story point. And it's then a 5, of which I'm just going to say, no, you aren't doing that.
Okay, so there's nothing else here.
It got there because it was built in there.
Also, out of curiosity, how does technomancy work again? What does it specifically do?
So technomancy, basically, various objects will have kind of a technomantic port in them that basically you can interface and basically use your body as a battery, essentially.
Okay.
So yeah, that is. It was also too old that you would not be able to interface with it.
Okay, you know what? Because I can't lift it, I'm gonna kick it lightly, spit on it, and then walk away.
Okay. So you walk away and head back to the elevator.
Yes, because unfortunately I don't know how to play Moonlight Sonata, so...
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna go to fuck then.
Okay. How long? So with that, actually, let's see, because it's been what, about an hour and 45,
2 hours.
and we've
Yeah.
got, let's see, I'm going to just kind of say, hey, I'm just going to, just for the recording, I'm going to break here. So not for like the session, but just keep a audio for the audio. I'm just going to break that here. Or I might break it earlier and just not, I might have to just worry about that in post.
Who fucking knows?
Fine. Who knows?
Yeah. So, with that, we are going back to Nelos and Elmis. So you were going back to the dining room and you wanted to go north.
Yes.
I'm using a software that basically, because I've mapped all this out, so I'm using a software to go through that. Okay, so you go in to the room to the north, and in there you see, you walk in and you see essentially a few things. You see a television, you see in the center a conversation pit, a pool table, and just a normal table that looks like you could probably play cards with it. You notice on, let's see, is there anything you want to, basically, you notice on the table is that there is a bunch of paperwork on there.
All right.
Let's go ahead and read it, I guess.
Okay. Which one of you wants to take? Let's see. Let's see. Trying to how to work this. Which one of you wants to make a? Which one of you? Which one of you wants to make a knowledge history check? Because I think you both have the same.
How many do you have?
I have 3 green and 1 boost.
Okay. So you, yes. So Nels, do you want to take that?
Sure.
Okay. That is going to be a. It's also going to be a. It is a average check. So two purple.
Okay.
And the blue comes from your pocket data assistant.
Do we have internet here?
Yeah, you have it here. This is actually mostly where you would have it.
Dream
Yep.
Dream internet. All right.
Well, it has like Encarta built in. Okay, net failure with 1 advantage. So you look at the paperwork. You can't tell what it is. It is actually in a language that you don't understand. It is and it's not even in a alphanumeric, like it's not using Latin script. It is using a script you've never seen before. And it's one that you like, it's like you kind of fumble through your data assistant's kind of dictionary, and it's not, there's nothing that looks like it. But I will give you this. You give since I know Nellis, you kind of notice something suspicious about a symbol on it. Can you make for me the same it is a small symbol. Can you make a hard knowledge occult check? So that is going to be 3 purples.
All right.
3 successes.
3 successes.
Okay. So you take a look at one of the symbols. And you actually have seen the symbol before. In your study of the occult. It is actually the symbol for the organization known as Orion. What you know from them is essentially they are a cult. They are essentially an accelerationist group, essentially. And basically their like belief is that there are gods that live among us. And basically they feel that their existence will come more apparent if basically more chaos is done. So they're basically a hedonist group, but also with that, I guess. So you recognize that symbol on the paperwork, on some of the paperwork there.
EOL.
Yep.
Think I know who has been disturbing this place.
Oh, care to be enlightened? Care to be enlightened?
Well, I would, but would you?
Sure.
What do you know about Orion?
Aren't they like a terrorist group or something like that?
Pretty much, yeah. All about bringing chaos. Because they believe there are gods walking amongst us.
Great. This doesn't bode well for this castle. We're gonna walk into a sex dungeon, aren't we?
Well, you saw those trench coats.
Right? You're right.
I'm so glad you said what I wanted to.
Well, I'm gonna grab those papers. So I can't actually read this shit on there.
Yep, will do.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to check in the room?
Nelos will
Okay.
go over to the TV and turn it on.
Okay. You notice that you, in fact, actually get signal. And it is turned relatively low.
Good.
And it is just broadcasting. It is broadcasting basically a late night talk show for. It is a. You could kind of think of like a Johnny Carson kind of thing. It is just two people talking. They're talking in a language that you do not know, but you can tell that's generally what's on the TV. But yes, it does work, and it does get signal.
Well, makes sense. The pocket thing worked.
Yeah. Lolo, could I go take a glance at reading the script?
Sure. Let's see.
Said knowledge history.
That will be knowledge history, and that will actually be let's go average, since that's what I made Nelos roll. Yep. Need help rolling?
Yeah, you need help.
Okay. Okay, you succeed with 2 threat. Okay. You basically you are able to understand what the script is. Let me think. You can understand it. You can understand part of it, I should say. The thing is, you can understand some of the words. The thing is that, and you can understand some keywords. Basically, it is essentially an order, which what you can basically it is basically letters going back and forth. What you can tell from the letters is that you can't tell who it is, essentially. You notice because as you kind of put your hands across it, you kind of rub part of it and it actually goes away. Like part of the ink is actually just very delicate, and kind of part of it gets destroyed as you kind of read through it.
Shit.
But you can read.
You do.
You can read part of it, and you do notice that you mention things. You see keywords. Namely that you see robot and firearm and basically and sylph and dungeon.
Okay, so I can read bits of it. They've got some kind of... It seems like this is some order for some kind of... Something in a dungeon using a robot gun.
Well, we already knew there were perverts here, so this is not news.
But that's about all I can make out.
I should also say in the room, you have exits to the... Let's see, you have the north. Let's see, you have basically all 4 directions have exits. South would lead you back to the dining area. And yeah, you haven't been to any of the others.
Go west again.
Sure.
Okay. With that, you head west, and I'm gonna head back to Lyla and Iravia.
Iravia.
God damn it. There's a lot I gotta keep in my head. I'm just gonna call you Adel and Adel and Edel. Okay. So, you go kind of exit, and as you go out, you can notice that the room that you kind of exit out of the elevator into basically looks down into the art room. And that, in fact, also has 2 open exits to the east and west, and a closed door to the north.
Well, I guess we'll just check east first.
Okay. You walk in and you see a giant library. Well, maybe not a giant library, but you see a lot of shelves and a lot of books. You also see kind of areas in which looks like basically there are tables that you could sit into, and you see 3 closed doors leading inside. They have windows. You can see that they are essentially small rooms with essentially small conference rooms that you could have like a group conversation in. But there is nothing in any of those rooms, nothing of note. But the cases, the bookshelves are lined with books. Like, they are full of them.
Yeah. Lyla, any of this shit look interesting to you?
Okay, let me check. She kind of takes a look and just kind of going through it. She can tell that there are books actually in multiple languages. She does find some that are in English, and they are medical books. They are essentially books that basically they're anatomy books. They are basically books on being a doctor. She does happen to notice some that have something to do with animancy as well. Also, in going through and looking at some of the books in the other languages, she can't read what they are, but what you can tell, they are also animancy books.
Okay.
So basically, she says it's like, it looks like it's a bunch of textbooks on animancy. So, like, and it seems focused. So, I'm guessing this section is for, I guess, people who, like, I wonder if this was meant, like, if animancers were living here. Like, if maybe this was, like, a study area?
Okay, it just seems an interesting choice. Iravia says as she starts just tearing books off the shelves and throwing them onto the ground.
Okay.
Just disturbing the piece as much as you can to see if anything happens.
Okay.
Also, if need be, so help me, I will. So, the conference rooms, do they have, like, glass?
They do have glass.
I could start throwing chairs through those, too.
You could.
Why?
The idea is making as big a mess as possible and seeing what happens. If anything.
Okay. So while you do that, you kind of throw chairs through the windows. They do break like glass. I kind of looks at you as like, what are you doing?
Making a mess.
Any particular reason why?
Seeing if anything happens.
How loud of a noise is this glass making? Like, do we hear it from where we are?
So no, you don't.
We're like on a different floor altogether, remember?
Yep.
Are we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're like 2 floors away.
Also, remember you wouldn't know, but Torpo would remember. There's something
It's
weird
sound
going on.
dampening.
There's some sound dampening things going on. So yeah, you just do that and it breaks.
Also, it's very, very relaxing breaking things like this. You should try it.
Lyla just kind of looks and it's like, these are this is a dream. Then she just picks up a chair and just hucks it at the wall. He's like, yeah,
Exactly.
you know what? I like this. Yeah, let's just do this. And then basically you spend a little while just breaking everything and nothing happens.
It's disappointing, but at least it was fun.
Okay. So do you want to do anything else there?
Nope, just gonna leave that fucking room and go on to the other open one.
Well, the other open one, it's more library. It is in fact it is a mirror opposite of the other room.
Just immediately starts hucking chairs again.
Yep.
Not even this time to get a reaction, but out of frustration with all these fucking books.
So what
I'll go to town on the chairs first so Lyla can look at the books.
I want you to do me a favor.
Yeah.
Why don't you make a vigilance check?
Oh boy.
I want you to
that's like
I want you to make a let's just say a what's it called? A 1 difficulty check.
okay, so it'd be 1 purple.
Yep.
Wait, these are mine. My greens. Wait, no, only one of them's my green. I don't understand what's happening anymore. Oh Jesus.
That is an easy check, by the way.
Yeah. So I'm sorting out all the dice I need. So an easy check.
Yep, easy. So 1 purple.
Oh, this is hilarious, actually. Just gonna put them down and then I'm gonna roll them. I'm sorry.
So,
Oh, no.
well, so
Wait,
was it doing?
is that a failure?
Yeah, because you have 1 success here. You have on this one. You have 1 success, 2 failures, and 3 advantage.
Okay. Just want to be sure. I'm not familiar with the symbols.
Yep. Yeah. Also, if you hover over the die, it will tell you what the result is. You happen to, as you are doing this, you and Lyla are doing that. You see essentially you see something out of the corner of your eye, and it looks like it is basically a flying orb. You see it out of the corner of your eye, and it looks like it is walking into the room, or not walking, it is flying into the room kind of at your head height. And it is essentially, you see that it's coming in, but it has not, and it looks like it has a light in front of it. And you see it out of the corner of your eye, it come in, and you are fast enough to notice it, and you and Lyla also notices it, that you duck out of the side to it. The thing is that it sees something is off, but it can't quite tell what. So it looks in, it looks at the mess you've made, but it really doesn't do much. Like, it doesn't, it's like, it's not like it's, you don't see it beeping, but you just kind of see it moving in like a weird pattern.
Okay.
Also, one thing that as you kind of take a look at it, you notice that, let me check my thing real quick. You notice that kind of crudely attached to it is a submachine gun.
Okay, that escalated quickly.
So you are kind of behind it. You are essentially behind it. It is kind of going back and forth at something. And what do you do? Thank you for listening to Hazeltown Story. If you would like to get updates on this show and many other shows hosted by me, LoloDePuzlo, you can follow at Hazeltown Story on Twitter. And if you would like to get to know me more from a personal standpoint, you can follow my personal Twitter at LoloDePuzlo. If you would like to watch this be recorded live, you can go to twitch.tv/LoloDePuzlo and follow the channel for notifications of when this show, as well as other shows like Retro Rank Rhapsody, are being recorded. If you would like to add this podcast to your podcatcher of choice, you can search for WLDP Hazeltown Radio and find us on most major podcatching search engines. Or you can manually add rss.hazeltown.life to your podcatcher. Thank you for listening, and I hope you come around for the next episode.